Chapter 17. Light snow came after Li Dong, but there was no snow during this season. This made His Royal Highness, who loved to drink warm wine and read forbidden books on snowy nights, very disappointed. White Fox's face had already stayed on the first floor of the Tide Listening Pavilion for half a day. She was in a trance, and her perseverance made Su Fengnian, who could not bear hardships, feel ashamed of his inferiority. However, this did not stop Su Fengnian from having fun in the prince's mansion. Courtesan Yu Wei settled down and lived in a secluded courtyard where two kinds of plants were planted overnight. The white cat, Wu Mainyang, seemed to be very satisfied with the new nest and had gained some weight. Su Fengnian gave Yu Wei the best mink fur coat and the most exquisite food, but he did not touch her smooth jade again. He deliberately kept a distance from her. That round Wuxia was right. Raising a human was the same as raising an eagle. They had to be trained slowly. If they were too fast, they would lose their spiritual aura. If they were too slow, they would not be obedient. Everyone in the mansion knew that His Royal Highness liked to go boating on the lake alone. Every time he reached the center of the lake, he would throw down a few things. When the weather was warm, he would dive into the lake and only resurface after a long time. It was probably because the crown prince was naturally close to water. Today, Su Fengnian was very interested in being a boatman. He rowed the boat to the center of the lake and muttered a few words to himself. Then, he tied a few pieces of steaming roast venison to a stone and threw them down. Then he lay down on the small boat and enjoyed the warm winter sun. He was about to fall asleep when he heard a voice calling him while he was half awake. He sat up and saw a slender woman wearing a luxurious red fur coat standing in the pavilion by the shore. Several strangers were standing near the familiar slender figure. She waved her hand vigorously. Su Fengnian was pleasantly surprised. He rowed the boat back and jumped into the pavilion. In the end, he was hugged by the woman. Her fragrant lips nibbled on Su Fengnian's face. With a face full of rouge and lipstick marks, Su Fengnian affectionately called out, "Sister." In this world, the only person who dared to flirt with His Royal Highness was the eldest daughter of the Pillar State, Su Jihu. The two siblings had been very close since they were young. Before she got married, Su Fengnian was dragged to bed with her even when he was 12 or 13 years old. If it was said that the king of Bailiang, Su Xiao, was the most protective of Su Fengnian, and Su Longxiang was the most obedient, then Su Fengnian was definitely the one who doted on him the most. As soon as Su Jihu received a letter from his father saying that his younger brother had returned to the city, he immediately rushed back to his mother's home with a group of servants. With tears in her eyes, she pinched her brother's cheeks, touched his head, and rubbed his shoulders. She even slapped Su Fengnian's but heavily without any scruples. Finally, she habitually reached for her brother's crotch. Su Fengnian said with a bitter face, "Sister, it's very good here. There's no need to check it. There are outsiders. These two people, who are they?" In the pavilion, other than the maidservants and nannies who were frightened by Su Jihu's ruthless and strange style, there were also two outsiders. They were both outstanding and handsome. One wore a green robe and held a sword, handsome and elegant. The other was tall and sturdy, with a face full of righteousness. Su Jihu smiled sweetly and pointed, "This is Cui Gongzi of the Cui family of Qinghe. His swordsmanship is outstanding." On the way, sister met some bandits who didn't know their place. It was Cui Gongzi who led the family troops to chase them away. This is Zheng Gongzi, chivalrous and righteous. He is very famous in the Guangzhou area. They are both sisters' benefactors. The two bowed together and said, "Greetings to His Royal Highness." Su Fengnian smiled and said, "Since you are my sister's benefactor, then you are my benefactor as well. Do you have any martial arts techniques that you want to practice? There are quite a lot of books here. I'll get someone to bring you a few." The elegant-looking Cui Gongzi's eyes were burning, but he concealed it well and evaded. The wandering hero Zheng Gongzi, on the other hand, was not interested. Su Fengnian scolded, pretentious, and stupid in his heart, but his expression was still warm. He said a bunch of polite words. Su Jihu did not find it boring. In her eyes, her brother was the most perfect. Even when he fell flat on his face while learning from a horse, it was still a very elegant posture. Su Fengnian waved his hand and called Jiang Ni over. He had her lead the two Gongzi to walk around the mansion. Then he dismissed all the servants, leaving only the sister and brother who had not seen each other for many years. Su Fengnian said bluntly, "Sister, this Cui Gongzi's appearance is not bad, but his heart is not good. He is the same kind of person as me. Don't be cheated of your money and body. As for that Luo Bao, he is either really stupid or very shrewd. He is not a good person either. You can play with them, but don't use your true feelings. Su Jihu stretched out a finger and pointed at Su Fengnian's forehead. She smiled charmingly and said, "Do you think I need you to teach me? When it comes to men, I only need to glance at them to know whether the bird in their pants is big or small, good or bad." Su Fengnian held his sister's hand and picked up a tribute yellow mandarin. He peeled it and gave the sister and brother half each. Su Fengnian threw a piece into his mouth and said, "Your sister seems to be in good shape. Elder sister seems to have gained some weight. That's good. If you've lost weight, I'll go to Zhongnandao and start a massacre." Su Jihu suddenly burst into tears without any warning. Su Fengnian thought that his sister had been bullied over there. He gritted his teeth and said, "Sister, tell me who made you unhappy. I will bring people to kill them." Su Jihu wiped her tears and stopped crying after a long time. She pulled Su Fengnian's hand and looked at the calluses on his palm and fingertips. She choked with sobs again. "I know that your 3 years of travel have not been easy. In the past, you would not have been willing to swallow an entire piece of mandarin. Even if I was willing to tear off the shredded mandarin, you might not have been willing to eat it. I have never had to worry about food and clothing, so how could I have suffered? Even if I was a widow who had been stabbed in the back, to me, it was nothing more than an itch. But you have traveled for 3 years and traveled thousands of miles on foot. I don't even dare to think about it. What a heartless father. I will find him and settle the score. If he doesn't love you, you can follow me to Gangnam-do. It is rich and the girls are beautiful.